We're first going to look at how to name covalent, aka molecular compounds. Remember, the way I recognize it is that we're going to have a nonmetal bonded to a nonmetal. And then one major rule of this is that you're going to write the names of the elements, but then you're going to also add prefixes, which are just words that go before the names of the elements that indicate how many atoms are present. If you haven't already done so and copied this into your journal, go ahead and hit pause and then return after you have this written down, and then come back and look at some examples. Okay, now that you have this written down into your notes, we're just going to do a couple of examples. Let's say you have the compound N4F6, and I'm asked to name this. So first of all, I have nitrogen and fluorine. That's two nonmetals. This is going to follow the molecular rules. And if you look at your steps, we're going to go one step at a time together. Step number 1 says you're going to name the first element. Okay, so I have nitrogen, so I'm going to write down nitrogen. But then it also says add a prefix as more than one atom is present. And so I look after nitrogen, there's the number 4. That indicates to me that we have 4 nitrogens. And so we're going to look at our prefix chart for the number 4. The word that represents 4 is tetra. So I'm going to write the word tetra in front of nitrogen. Actually, it's all one word, so let's just scoot that guy a little bit closer. So we have tetra nitrogen. We're done with step number 1. Now let's look at step number 2. It says name the second element, but change its ending to IDE, and then we're going to always add a prefix. And so our second element is fluorine. But the rule is telling me instead of writing fluorine, we're going to change the ending, get rid of the INE and replace it with IDE. So this becomes fluoride. Then it says add a prefix. So there are 6 fluorines present. I look at my prefix chart. There are 6 fluorines, so it's going to be hexafluoride. And so you've just named N4F6 as tetranitrogen hexafluoride, following these simple steps. Let's do one more example together. Let's say you have the compound SO3, and we're going to go through those same steps. Step number 1, we're going to name the first element, add a prefix if there is more than one atom of that first element. And so we have sulfur. There is only one sulfur in this formula. If I don't see a number after the element symbol, I assume it to be 1. And so there's 1 sulfur. 1 means mono. Okay. But this rule here where it says add a prefix if more than one atom, you're not going to add the word mono ever for the first element. I know there's only 1 there, and we would want to put the word mono typically, but just the way we name things, we're never going to put the word mono at the beginning for the first element. It's just a rule that we have. So if I don't put a prefix there, it's understood to be a 1. Okay, so the only time you can leave off a prefix is if there's 1 of the first element. All right, step 2. Let's take a look at the second element. I have oxygen. But instead of writing oxygen, we're going to change it to oxide. And I have 3 oxygens in the chemical formula. And so the prefix for 3 is tri. So we're going to insert the word tri in front of oxide. And so this compound is called sulfur trioxide. And again, I do not put that word mono for the first element because it's understood that there is 1.